tidal waves, toppling the sail ship, but not so hard. My mind's thoughts contain vibrancy like that of a bard. Every time, it reminds me of a place I used to be. Time freezes as I'm upside down. You'll misinterpret the side of the sky as you stand there in your gown. It's like I'm retaining memories deep within. And to lead my personality astray can be a venial sin. These goals and hopes I used to have, an epitaph, plotting my life accomplishments high and low like a graph. I want to suddenly break and stop this pattern, to break free of my own concern, start living my life carefree instead of living a carefree life. It's just hard letting go. It feels a part of me. All of it does. I'm here because of what I've done, which is propelling me forward. Am I supposed to engage in volatility? Turning from a flat, sharp disc into a wholesome, in-depth, crowded sphere? Instead of being engaged in wind resistance, just reaching out in front of me despite anybody's wishes, and just hoarding what is close to me? Mining these memories like some sort of resource expedition? I feel pathetic because this is just only what people have told me. That I'm supposed to be changing. That I'm not supposed to be the same person I was years and years ago. At all. But I have different techniques, a slightly different mindset, and significantly more experience. But I'm not that far different. When something happens, something big, it flashes with such light that it does more than just pass straight through your eyeballs. It stays there. It does impact. Lights flicker for a moment, even though there's no more light left in the sky. Your eyeballs tell you there are, but just as your brain does when something so big comes and passes, it's really not. I'm not quite sure if my mind's eye in this case is just epileptic or freezing up or what any of this is. People tell me I'm supposed to be doing this, supposed to be doing that. I wish I could. In the abstract realm, push through every single one of these thoughts. These people, these symbols, shove them aside and get to this goal in my mind. But I know it's unattainable. Because behind these people are structures built to keep me out. My goals stay, but my invitation exits. My mind wonders. If I fail A, and if I fail B, then I've also failed C, and D didn't work, well, E was also fucked up as well. And then F happened while I was young, and then also G was being told to me by everybody. And then I found H, and then I was reminded why my life was I, and then life was just like J, and then later finished a sentence and told me K. It's like time froze, and L became the new big thing in my life. How did I dare think about F and G in a bad way? Are they bad things? F and G. Now that I think about it and rethink it in some way, shape, or form, they become L and M, like rogue variables. Changing my current perception as I consider them, it's saying residual in my personality enough to make me remain the same. And how dare I talk about L and M, because that violates the real things that should stand for. When I scroll down a list of random variables, those stick out to me like some sort of symbolism, because it is, and they are symbolism indeed, manifested. And so, after this real L and M happened, I was reminded of A and B, rewound in time, life happening like objects falling down from the stairs, now stumbling where they needed to be. And N was by my side. this whole time. Yet, I can't find an appreciation for it. As I shake the hand of a familiar stranger, I know who that man is. I know deep down he loves me. He wants to see me grow. He prayed back in the back of his mind to see me turn out okay. And yet, I can only actually feel connected when we say goodbye and praised when we say hello. This alienation, this isolation, it leads to O happening over and over. Cryptic O's. Crippo, my mind says, because it just races so fast and combines the words. As time freezes in this abstract realm, the intuition kicks in to move my body and run through the stillness. When time slows down, that's my chance to escape. Yet I know, and I knew, I was not showing what I felt. This web of variables, so many connections. P begs and pleads, and I thought this was an upgrade, a way to fix everything. But variables can lie to you. P did not exist. It never had importance. It was Krishna herself, a way to turn my life into one of the many orbs of fate it may control, to turn my life essence itself into a variable, leaving me undetermined but her defined. This energy transfers into my brain. I feel fingers moving my synapses aside as it meddles through these thoughts that were meddled that never should have been. My brain, my life, my residual personality, everything crept back in. I knew it was too good to be true for things to permanently have changed for the better. Q. The quest for knowledge. The path that led me to a victorious self-loathing. The vicarious living of no ethical boundaries. Truth itself. Unjudging. Just knowing. Coveted, yet truly unattainable. I envy it. I wanted it, but I wasn't ready for it. I never was. But I'm always looking to find out more. To reevaluate, reassess, reorient. Recalibration is not an option. I find myself in the here and now, and my breath takes me back. I see these variables. I see where the quests have taken me. I miss knowing and feeling like nothing bad was about to happen. In fact, when only good things were lined up. I envy that part of me that created a plan in my immaculate mind at the time, lined up the bowling pins in such a way that defied the laws of physics and the laws of the game itself, and knocked them down in such a way that no more could be knocked down for months after. Easiness in the night of the day, I quote. I remember I used to say and think. R. Reestablishing my grounds, I wish I could. To push the evil spirits away. The symbols. And to fight the war. To claim the land for what is mine. And yet I don't own it. I own nothing. I have no material possessions in this world, only temporary objects made from man that I hold here in 2016. Nothing is truly mine. Though this variable, from what I remember, it used to be mine. I used to be able to fully control it and propel it in a direction in which everybody would just envy the newfound civilization that I single-handedly set up, feeling victorious for once, long ago, distant in the past. When was I ever that excited? That happy? A governor. A savior. I was selfless. My life was in another place, in this abstract realm, coddled to sleep in such a way that I could truly wake up the next morning. I remember it. Going to school happy, and I've been questioning why I'm automatically smiling. It's like the past 8 years have consisted of me questioning why I'm automatically frowning, grinding my teeth, or pressing my lips firmly together. These dreams that I have, that I used to have as well, just a giant gap of time. A gap I wish I could just be bigger. Could have enveloped me. A gap I wish I was submersed in, as it was nice there. I deserve one. The space created where I can breathe, where I can finally just do and say everything as it comes, like an assembly line of thoughts. S. Perfect in its shape. Guiding off into the sky like a rope pulled in space with zero gravity. Playing another song, another record this time, taking the cap off my life to where I can disperse into the skies. A true mindful state. A way I can be whole, in my element, in the zone, engaged. Am I not that now? Pause. Take a look. How can I say that I'm not different? This mindfulness, this very state, hasn't been sought for. It hasn't been attained in years. I remember now the lines I took, the plays, the elements introduced into my own universe by myself to create what compounds needed to be utilized in the structures built for my own doing. I close my eyes and I have these doubts of what is right in front of me. I already knew that my brain had the line and the skill to go on autopilot in a productive way, and yet I doubt. I have this second guess, like a need to supervise my brain like a child, to hold its hand, to guide myself through the self-talk, as if I'm treating my bodily affect as another person, because it has betrayed me over and over for so long. These complex connections residual only because of the very techniques that were introduced into this universe by evil forces, my own doing questioned in a spontaneous matter. I don't know if any of it is coming out right. I don't know if any of this is being as I intended, but from here on out, for this segment, I'll be closing my eyes. I feel the tidal waves pressure beneath my feet. I feel a true sense of domain. Until the thought of L and M pop right back in my head again. It's deep-rooted. I feel it that close to my reptilian brain. The true instinct there defined as a variable only because of the times that I guided the flow of the universe, my universe. Only singular because this is the only one I have, though I know others have their own planets and their own galaxies and their own solar systems mapped, but I was just happy to live in the Milky Way with everybody. With you. But compounded by all these elements, I feel empathy for all these cells pushed firmly beneath the ocean's surface. The thick matter that slides within the crust's magma, I know what it's like. Mud dripping off a waterfall unnoticed. My mind's eye brings me to these locations, these spots, these memories, for reasons. It wants to guide me, to save me from myself. I must reorient and recalibrate. Recalibrate. It's a productive word, but will it be for me? Every time I think, these memories infiltrating my change, variables holding me like a firm vice, to where all of my might for once, with all of my might for once rather, I cannot break free of this madness. People's words, their thoughts, their judgments specifically slow me down so much. It's like I'm thinking this, doing this for nothing. Will this be a channel of my fate? Or is it simply just labeled behavior? Is this the destiny of my goals, or is this just coincidence? Silence. As I struggle, as I try to think of something. This is the most mindful I've been in weeks, months. I objectively know this. And yet the S feels so goddamn good. That gap to create room for me to lie and breathe in this stillness, rather than fighting to get through to the other side. To others, it looked like learned helplessness, but society has a way of exiling those who engage in this gap, sober or intoxicated. I know there must be errors along the way. I know there must be a way I could be doing this all wrong, even with my eyes closed as we speak. But I'm doing my best to have the confidence to type it all with my eyes closed. I'm trying to do what I used to do. Open my eyes and see a true accomplishment that I don't even truly remember doing. One that I haven't fully encoded to trick my mind's eye, this quest for knowledge. Being an information addict, I can almost see myself saying these words, the thoughts coming out, the behaviors manifesting. But right now, all I can feel is my bones whittling, questioned as these cells in my brain fire away to make them behave in such a way. True domain over my brain, draining the main vein. That would be my blood-brain barrier, easing its tension, so my bubble doesn't burst like a horrific stroke. A deep breath, more relaxed. I can hear the crickets. I can hear my typing like it's its own song. I already know the errors I'm about to make as I close my eyes. I've been doing this for so long. The same techniques hold true to every beam of light that has ever crossed this universe of mine. I am the truth here, as my eyes fail me to see their abstract nature. Perhaps after so much light has entered this soul, it's time I rest these eyes. My limbic system feels like a severed limb, a malfunctioned baby prone to sudden infant death syndrome and other horrific things that shouldn't exist. I feel the songs and my pathways that live in my brain so juvenile. I wish I could revisit them with this mind I have today. And I know there must be errors along the way, though few that they are compared to the hundreds, the thousands of other letters that must have been typed by now. The pause in this thought of variables, the string of rhyming, the stillness, all of it. I actually feel like I can let the thoughts pass in and out, like a plane, although my eyes don't see it that way. Limbic system has a static shock to it, a charge, residual, from this childhood I have. All things that pass through it gain a charge by default. I can feel the destiny of a thought just as it passes through my brain. No wonder I can be an information addict. I need to verify this outcome because this impulse is so big, so present, it isn't broken. I do have hopes, I do have dreams, especially dreams. Creative, chaotic, amazing, fermented dreams, waiting to be ingested and intoxicated by all, for all. I've been doing this for so long. I already know that I'm good. I have talents, things that some people would kill for. This ability to type is actually fantastical. It's questionable how I can do this for this long with my eyes closed, editing errors, making few mistakes, capitalizing my words, and punctuating each sentence correctly. I want to do this more. I want to keep experimenting until I find new talents. How can I not follow through? Whatever it takes to get me to hit that reset button. To live more, and live that next day until my late ages, when I'm rewarded with amnesia, where I don't remember any of this. That would be the true gift, being alive and forgetting all of this. That's an actual goal. I want to be that old, to have the gift of forgetting. But would I? Will I ever forget? After all this examination, all this encoding, this embedding, and despite the recalibrating, I know that the light won't permanently fade into darkness. That there will always be something there. Something there that you own. Part of me that's reserved for you, because you're the only person, you're the only thought, the only concept, the only dream that brings this much closer together. I wake up almost 2,000 words later. Almost seems decades from the original page I decided to fulfill, but I don't want to stop doing it. I don't want to stop revisiting these places. The clear mind, the vastness. That idea is quite intimidating. But I find true clarity once I know that I'm living in my own universe. I just know a part of me wishes it was not this way.